Hello, mes amis. There's Fossey here. We are starting chapter 19, verse 1 of Luke, and we will start now. English to start. I usually start French, but we're going to switch that up today. Then Jesus entered and passed through Jericho. Now behold, there was a man named Zacchaeus, who was a chief tax collector, and he was rich. And he sought to see who Jesus was, but could not because of the crowd, for he was of short stature. So he ran ahead and climbed up into a sycamore tree to see him, for he was going to pass that way. And when Jesus came to the place, he looked up and saw him, and said to him, Zacchaeus, make haste and come down, for today I must stay at your house. So he made haste and came down, and received him joyfully. But when they saw it, they all complained, saying, he is gone to be a guest with a man who is a sinner. Then Zacchaeus stood and said to the Lord, look, Lord, I give half of my goods to the poor, and if I have taken anything from anyone by false accusation, I restore fourfold. And Jesus said to him, today salvation has come to this house, because he also is a son of Abraham. For the Son of Man has come to seek and save those that which was lost. Oh my God, this is gonna be a rough day. See if French is any better. Je suis dans 19 vers 11. Ils écoutaient ces choses, et Jésus ajouta une parabole, parce qu'il était près de Jérusalem, et quand Corée voyait qu'à l'instant le royaume de Dieu allait paraître, il dit donc, un homme de haute naissance s'en alla dans un pays lointain pour se faire investir de l'autorité royale et revenir ensuite. Il appela 10 de ses serviteurs, leur donna 10 000 et leur dit, faites-les valoir jusqu'à ce que je revienne. Mais ses concitoyens le hassaient et ils ont envoyé une ambassade après lui pour dire nous ne voulons pas que cet homme règne sur nous. I have to find my pen. And it is somewhere here. Voila. All right. Neither the French nor the English is working. But we're going to just drive on now. And so it was that when he returned, having received the kingdom, he then commanded the servants to whom he had given the money to be called in, that he might know how much every man had gained by trading. Then came the first, saying, Master, your mina has earned 10 minas. He said to him, well done, good servant, because you were faithful in a very little, have authority over 10 cities. Then the second came, saying, Master, your mina has earned 5 minas. Likewise, he said to him, you also be over 5 cities. Then another came, saying, Master, here's your mina, which I have kept put away in a handkerchief. For I feared you, because you are an austere man. You collect what you did not deposit, and reap what you did not sow. Ooh. 22. Il lui dit, je te juge sur tes paroles, méchant serviteur. Tu savais que je suis un homme sévère, prenant ce que je n'ai pas déposé et moissonnant ce que je n'ai pas semé. Pourquoi donc n'as-tu pas mis mon argent dans une banque afin que, qu'à mon retour, je le retire avec un intérêt. Puis il dit à ceux qui étaient là, ôtez-lui à la mine et donnez-la à celui qui a les 10 000. Ils lui dirent, ils lui dirent, Seigneur, il y a 10 000. Je vous le dis, on donnera à celui qui a, mais à, assis, mais à celui qui n'a pas, pas on ôtera même ce qu'il a. Au reste, amenez ici mes ennemis qui n'ont pas voulu que je vienne sur eux et tuez-les en ma présence. That's heavy stuff. I'm just gonna recap that was chapter 19, verse 27. But bring here those enemies of mine who did not want me to reign over them and slay them before me. I did not comprehend that one. Where marked this out? When he had said this, he went on ahead, going up to Jerusalem. And it came to pass, when he drew near to Bethphage and Bethany at the mountain called Olivier, that he sent two of his disciples, saying, Go into the village opposite you, where as you enter, you will find a colt tied on which no one has ever sat. Loose it and bring it here. And if anyone asks you why you are loosing it, thus you shall say to him, Because the Lord has need of it. So those who were sent went their way and found it, just as he had said to them. But as they were loosing the colt, the owners of it said to them, Why are you loosing the colt? They said, The Lord has need of him. Then they brought him to Jesus, and they threw their own clothes on the colt, and they set Jesus on him. As he went, many spread their clothes on the road. Then, as he now drawing near to the descent of the Mount of Olives, the whole multitude, of course, there it is. The multitude of disciples began to rejoice and praise God with a loud voice for all the mighty works they had seen, saying, Blessed is the King who comes in the name of the Lord, peace in heaven and glory in the highest. And some of the Pharisees called to him from the crowd, Teacher, rebuke your disciples. But he answered and said to them, I tell you that if these should keep silent, the stones would immediately cry out. I've not ever heard that one before. Luke is a very good read. I mean, it's all a good read, but where are we at? 41. Luc chapitre 19, verse 41. Comme il approchait de la ville, Jésus, en le voyant, pleura sur elle et dit, Si toi aussi, au moins en ce jour qui t'est donné, tu connais les choses qui appartiennent à ta paix. Et maintenant, elles sont cachées à tes yeux. Il viendra sur toi des jours où tes ennemis t'enverront going de trancher, t'enfermeront et te serreront de toutes parts. Ils te détruiront, toi et tes enfants au milieu de toi, et ils ne laisseront pas en toi pierre sur pierre, parce que tu n'as pas connu le temple où tu as été visité. English or French? We'll finish this chapter in French. Verse 45. Il entra dans le temple et il se mit à chasser ceux qui vendaient. Le disant, il est écrit, la maison sera une maison de pierre. Et vous en avez fait une caverne de voleurs. Il enseignait tous les jours dans le temple. Et les principaux sacrificateurs, bear with me. Mais les principaux sacrificateurs, les scribes et les principaux du peuple cherchaient à le faire périr. Mais ils ne savaient comment s'y prendre, car tout le peuple l'écoutait avec admiration. Okay. Chapter 20. Right along. Jesus' authority questions. By whom and by who? Now it happened on one of those days, as he taught the people in the temple and preached the gospel, that the chief priests and the scribes, together with the elders, confronted him and spoke to him, saying, tell us by what authority are you doing these things, or who is he who gave you this authority? But he answered and said to them, I also will ask you one thing, and answer me. The baptism of John, was it from heaven or from men? And they reasoned among themselves, saying, if we say from heaven, he will say, why then did you not believe him? But if we say from men, all people will stone us, for they are persuaded that John was a prophet. So they answered that they did not know where it was from. And Jesus said to them, neither will I tell you by what authority I do these things. I like that one. Oh, sorry, French. Verse 9. Il se mit ensuite à dire au peuple cette parabole. Un homme planta une vigne, la ferma à des vignerons, et quitta pour longtemps le pays. Au temps de la récolte, il envoya un serviteur vers les vignerons pour qu'il lui donne une part du produit de la vigne. Les vignerons le battirent et le renvoyèrent à vide. Il envoya encore un autre serviteur. Ils le battirent, l'outragèrent et le renvoyèrent à vide. Ils en envoya encore un troisième. Ils le blessèrent et le chassèrent. Le maître de la vigne dit, que ferai-je? J'enverrai mon fils bien-aimé, peut-être auront-ils pour lui du respect. Mais quand les vignerons le virent, ils raisonnèrent entre eux et dirent, voici l'héritier, tuons-le, afin que l'héritage soit à nous. Et ils le jetèrent hors de la vigne et le tuèrent. Maintenant que l'heure fera, le maître de la vigne, il viendra faire périr ses vignerons et il donnera la vigne à d'autres. Lorsqu'ils eurent entendu cela, ils dirent, à Dieu ne plaise. Mais jetant les regards sur Jésus dit, que signifie donc ce qui est écrit? La pierre qu'on rejetait, ceux qui bâtissaient, est devenue le principal de l'angle. Quiconque tombera sur cette pierre s'y brisera, et celui sur qui elle tombera sera écrasé. Les principaux sacrificateurs et les scribes cherchèrent à mettre la main sur lui à eux-mêmes, mais ils craignirent le peuple. Ils avaient compris que c'était pour eux que Jésus avait dit cette parole. Ah. Comments? Scribes, that very hour softly, healing people who he had spoken this parable against them. Ooh. They watched him and sent spies who pretended to be righteous, that they might seize on his words in order to deliver him to the power and the authority of the governor. Then they asked him, saying, Teacher, we know that you say and teach rightly, and you do not show personal favoritism, but teach the way of God in truth. Is it lawful for us to pay taxes to Caesar or not? But he perceived the craftiness and said, Why do you test me? Show me a denarius. They answered, I said, Caesar. And he said to them, Render therefore to Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and to God the things that are God's. But they could not catch him in his words, in the presence of the people, and they marveled at his answer and kept silent. Uh, chapter 20, verse 27. Then some of the Sadducees, who deny that there is a resurrection, came to him and asked him, saying, Teacher, Moses wrote to us that if a man's brother dies, having a wife, and he dies without children, his brother should take his wife and raise up offspring for his brother. Now there were 7 brothers. The first took a wife and died without children. And the second took her as a wife, and he died childless. Then the third took her, and in like manner 7 also. And they left no children and died. Last of all, the woman died also. Therefore, in the resurrection, whose wife does she become? For all 7 had her as a wife. Jesus answered and said to them, The sons of this age marry and are given in marriage. But those who are counted worthy to attain that age and the resurrection from the dead neither marry nor are given in marriage, nor can they die anymore, for they are equal to the angels and the sons of God, being sons of the resurrection. But even Moses showed in the burning bush passage that the dead are raised when he called the Lord of God, the God of Abraham, and the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. For he is not the God of the dead, but of the living, for all live to him. Then some of the scribes answered and said, Teacher, you have spoken well. But after that, they did not dare question him anymore. Finish in French. Can meditate on this for 1,000 years and not even understand all of it. Jesus leur dit, Comment dit-on que le Christ est fils de David? David lui-même dit dans le livre des Psaumes, Le Seigneur a dit à mon Seigneur, Assieds-toi à ma droite, jusqu'à ce que je fasse de tes ennemis ton marchepied. David donc l'appelle le Seigneur. Comment est-il son fils? Tandis que tout le peuple l'écoutait, il dit à ses disciples, Gardez-vous des scribes qui aiment à se promener en robe blanche et être salué dans les places publiques qui recherchent les premiers sièges dans les synagogues et les premières places dans les festins, qui dévorent les maisons des veuves et qui font pour l'apparence de longues prières, ils seront jugés plus sévèrement. And that counts chapter 20. Luke chapter 21, verse 1. And he looked up and saw the rich putting their gifts into the treasury. And he saw also a certain poor widow putting in 2 mites. So he said, truly I say to you, that this poor widow has put more in than all. For all these out there, for all of these out of their abundance have put in offerings for God, but she, out of her poverty, put in all the livelihood that she had. Then, as he some spoke this now. Oh no. Then, as some spoke of the temple, how it was adorned with beautiful stones and donations, he said, these things which you see, the days will come in which not one stone shall be left upon another that shall not be thrown down. So they asked him, saying, Teacher, but when will these things be? And what sign will it be when these things are about to take place? And he said, take heed that you may not be deceived. For many will come in my name, saying, I am he, and the time is drawn near. Therefore, do not go after them. But when you hear wars, commotions, do not be terrified, for these things must come to pass first, but the end will not come immediately. Then he said to them, nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there will be earthquakes, great earthquakes, in various places, and famines, and pestilences, and there will be fearful sights, and great signs from heaven. But before all these things, they will lay their hands on you and persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogues and prisons. You will be brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake, but it will turn out for you as an occasion for testimony. Therefore, settle it in your hearts, not to meditate beforehand on what you will answer, for I will give you a mouth and wisdom, which all your adversaries will not be able to contradict or resist. You will be betrayed even by parents and brothers, relatives and friends, and they will put some of you to death. And you'll be hated by all for my name's sake, but not a hair on your head shall be lost. By your patience, possess your souls. Comforting words. I could probably check off 5 of those things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I got 6. 6. Not a good number, but it's a number. All right. 2120. 21. 20. Lorsque vous verrez Jérusalem investi par des armées, sachez alors que cette désolation est proche. Alors que ceux qui seront en Judée fuient dans les montagnes, que ceux qui seront au milieu de Jérusalem et sortent, et que ceux qui seront dans les champs n'entrent pas dans la ville, car ce seront des jours de vengeance pour l'accomplissement de tout ce qui est écrit. Malheur aux femmes qui seront enceintes et à celles qui allaiteront en ces jours-là, car il y aura une grande détresse dans le pays et le colère contre ceux. P.S. I don't know what this is. That number 12, Vance. Le plus petite pièce de monnaie. Peuple. Oh, let's try that again. Malheur aux femmes qui seront enceintes et à celles qui allaiteront en ces jours-là, car il y aura une grande détresse dans le pays et de la colère contre ce peuple. Ils tomberont sous le tranchant de l'épée. Ils seront ennemis, captifs parmi toutes les nations, et Jérusalem sera foulée aux pieds par les nations jusqu'à ce que les temps des nations soient accomplis. Il y aura des signes dans le soleil, dans la lune et dans les étoiles. Et sur la terre, il y aura de l'angoisse chez les nations qui ne sauront que faire. Au bruit de la mer et des flottes, les hommes rendant l'âme de terreur dans l'attente de ce qui surviendra pour la terre, car les puissances des cieux seront ébranlées. We're going to stop it there. I'm losing my voice. So we'll pick up verse 27, chapter 21 next time. Thank you for all those all along. Like, subscribe, whatever that you want to do. But the goal here is, what are you doing to prepare the way for Christ? And that's why I read the Bible. Because that's his word, that's his world, that's the truth, the way, the light. So have the best evening, night, morning, afternoon, and I'll catch you all on the flip side.